Welcome back. Thanks for checking back in to Hell in a Hallway with your host, Billy. So excited to see you today as I grab my coffee. But today's episode is on relational equity. And that's a concept I have spoken about with clients before. And it's something that I really think you should have a handle on too. So let's get started. So a lot of times I did this one video on voices become viewpoints, and they become the viewpoints in our lives, and they become attitudes, they become behavior, and then they become character. That's one thing that I didn't say in that video, but it's true. So the voices that we assume in our lives, that we listen to, not just that we hear, but that we listen, or that we are consistently subjecting ourselves to, they become viewpoints. Those viewpoints become attitudes. Those attitudes become character. Okay? And that character manifests in our behavior and our relationships. So the one thing I said in that last video is that you have to watch and pay attention to the voices that's in your life, right? Some voices you have choice to listen to, some maybe not so much. But you need to, but no, you even have choices with them. If you have no choice to have them in your circle or around you, you can choose to whether or not to align yourself with that particular voice. But it really depends on what I call relational equity. Not everybody has the right to speak into your life. Not everybody has the right to speak into your spirit or to have access to you or your spirit. They should have relational equity, right? What does that mean? So, for example, if a total stranger came up to me and was like, "Oh my God, Billy, I really don't like that dress you're wearing." And I'm like, okay, I mean, you don't have any equity in my life. You don't have any substance. You don't have any credit in my life. There's no relational equity there. But if my mom or my daughter had said, "Mom, I'm not really feeling that dress," I'm going to look at the dress and go, "Well, I don't know what's wrong with it. Is it the wrong color? Does it fit inappropriately?" Why? Because they have relational equity. And I'm going to tell you where that works at. It works at also in the things that I allow in my own personal spirit, right? So if I'm watching television or something like that, if it doesn't align itself with myself, with my thought process, I'm not watching that. Why? Because voices become viewpoints. See, I don't want to watch stuff like consistently with too much chaos in it, because I start feeling chaotic. Or I start believing that the things that I'm watching, we start to normalize that experience, right? So you see these reality TV shows with all this fighting and backbiting and betrayal. You consistently see betrayal. So we start believing that's normal. And it's okay to engage in such crazy behavior. We don't even blink when we see chaos anymore. That's how normal it is. So I try not to let that stuff in my own personal mindset, in my spirit. And not that I'm like so, end all be all, but it has an impact on me. So I won't watch it. And that's a certain type of equity. I would say maybe media equity. That's a different thing I just thought about. That doesn't have enough equity to speak to me. So in regards to relational equity, who are the folks that have relational equity in your life? Who has permission to speak to and through and in you? Who are those people? And the people who do not have relational equity, don't give them the power of your reaction. They don't even have the equity. They don't have any meaning in that way. The moment you give people that kind of access, that kind of power, you have told them that they have way more value than they actually do. Do not give individuals who don't have relational equity the power of your attention. Do not do that. It is not even worth it. It is too expensive to have emotional reactions to individuals who have no equity in your life. So think about that. You have a circumstance that happens, determine the relational equity of that individual, and then choose your emotional response. If it's some nut online, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, social media, does that person have relational equity? Do they really? Are you about to get all cyber gangster on them? Lose 2 hours of your time going back and forth with somebody whose avatar you don't even know? Don't give people that kind of power, folks. It's not worth it. But when you do give people power, make sure it's only to grow you and to develop you. I look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully I have some relational equity in your life. And I'll take care and God bless.